Alright, so we're ready again for another unstoppable recap. Yeah man, so let's jump into it without too much long talking. This lady right here explains how she met a man. And this man that she met, she and him got into a relationship and family. This man was extremely abusive. Now, in my opinion, this is what you call jump out a frying pan and jump in a fire, because she was explaining that she moved to Canada and was living with her father, and the situation wasn't too good with her father, so she wanted a way out. Now she met this man and she figured, all right, then the man offer that she can come live with him. She took the offer and started to live with the man, and she explained that very soon after he became very abusive and kept these people. She said at one point she run away from the man and run go to her mother, and her mother was the one who actually bring her back to the man after him call and beg and plead. When the mother bring her back, the young lady explained that she heard the man and him friend plotting for kill her. She'd have to run from him again. Family, this one is a learning experience, you know. You need to listen, and if you're in a situation like this where you're being abused, get out of it. Try your hardest to get out of it. Seek help and get out. Let's take a listen to this one that was shared on Unstoppable Live.
I moved to Canada when I was 15 years old. My brother and I came here. My dad was living with my aunt. They were living together in a house, and I got there. My aunt, I guess she didn't like me. I don't know, for whatever reason. I didn't even know this woman. Everything I did upset her. So all I wanted to do was go back to Jamaica, go back to my life, go back to my mom. My dad finally moved out and get an apartment, and I was living in an apartment with my dad and my brother, and I didn't feel comfortable. I'm not going into details about that because that's not what it's about. So I wanted to leave and I had nowhere to go. I went from one aunt to another aunt. Um, I remember one morning I was making breakfast, like my breakfast, and I made two eggs. And my grandmother came in the kitchen and she threw the eggs in the garbage and said, "Oh, you come here to eat out my daughter money or whatever." And I cried myself, went to school hungry. So when my dad got a place, I was like, "Oh my God." Then I got there, I was very uncomfortable because I didn't live with my dad for years. Here I am with this man, like he's like a stranger. So the first guy I met that, show some liking or whatever, I jumped at it. And he said, "Oh, I will send you back to school, this, whatever." The first date I went on with him, it was good. The first month, it was okay. He took me to a club um, in Niagara Falls in Canada, and it was fine. It was beautiful. My cousin called to check up on me to make sure I was okay, and this man had a cell phone. I didn't even know much about cell phone because I grew up in the country. My mom kept us very sheltered. And I accidentally delete this man's numbers off his phone by accident. Lord Jesus, why did I do that? The man boxed me in my face so hard, I thought my head was gonna fall off. I was like, like what's going on? Like this never happened to me before. What the heck is this? Anyways, I started crying. I said, "Come and take me home right now, right now, right now." He took me to a hotel from there, and he begged and he went on his knees and he pleaded and whatever. And even after that, when he took me to my cousin's house, I didn't talk to him. I stopped talking to him. I blocked his number and everything because I got on my own cell phone. And he called my cousin every day, begging my cousin to get me to talk to him. Finally, I said, "Okay, fine. It's one time, whatever, we'll see." So I went back and it was good. It was really good until it got bad again. This man would beat me. He was a dealer back in the days, and he had money and he had connections. And I know of this. So was I scared? I couldn't leave him. I could not leave this man. This man tell me if I leave him, he's gonna burn my family's house down. Oh God, it's so hard sometimes when I think about it. But so anyways, I end up staying with him. When I met him, he wasn't talking to his mother or his family, whatever. He said he hated his mom. And I'm a family person. I make sure my family have everything. I have the utmost respect for my family. So I told him I can't be with someone that's gonna disrespect their mother like that. So I got him to start talking to the mom. I would take a little money from him and give it to his mom without him knowing. And I'm not a thief. I'm not taking money for myself. I'm giving it to his mom. So I thought his mom loved me.
Now, just for those of who needs to know, how old were you at this point?
I was 16, about to turn 17.
And this guy
I
was
think
how old, if you can remember?
he was 6 years older than I was. So yeah,
Okay, continue.
yeah. Anyways, so the beating went on. When I tell you, if he go out and someone upset him, he don't fight with men. He come home and he take it out on me. Whether it's my face, whether it's my back, whether it's my, and he's very smart. He tried to hit me in spot where people can't see the bruises and stuff because I'm light skinned. So, every punch he punched me, it shows. And if I'm covered up with my shirts or whatever, nobody's gonna see it. So it went on and it went on, and obviously I can't leave this man because every time I say, you know what, I'm done, I'm leaving you, he would squeeze my neck. He would do this, do that, and it went on for about 2 years. And the last time he beat me, I was like, no, I can't take this anymore. He's gonna kill me. And he had money. He didn't even know how much money he had because he would give me the money to put away for him. And I'm not a thief, so I went in and I took $2,000 off the money. And I already gave his mom my passport and everything because the mom knew about the abuse that I was going through because I was only allowed to talk to his family. I was not allowed to have friends or anything. He told me he was going to send me back to school when I said, okay, it's been 6 months. I want to go back to school. He beat me like so bad because why would you want to go back to school? Are you trying to go look for men? I make money. I make enough money that can support you. You're not going back to school. So of course I didn't go back to school. Um, I took the money. I called his mom. I said, listen, I'm leaving. I can't take this anymore. I went to his mom. I took my passport. I left in a cab and I went to Toronto and I stayed at my brother's house. I bought a plane ticket and I went to Jamaica. I bought an open ticket because I didn't want to come back to Canada. And I went to Jamaica. I went to my mom.
Now, remind me of who did you go to Canada to when you left
My
Jamaica?
dad.
You went to your dad.
Yeah, I went to my dad. But like I said, my dad was living at my aunt's house.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's like the whole family were kind of together, my cousins and everyone was in the same house, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my aunt was everything I did, even if I walk in the house, it upsets her. So that's why my dad went and got a place. So so I guess I could be comfortable, but
So
I shouldn't have gone.
So how is it that you ended up from your dad to this man though? What
Oh,
was their say in this whole matter? You moving from where you're supposed to be to living with a man
okay.
at 16.
Yes, I was young. I don't want to get into certain things
Mm-hmm.
because certain things have nothing to do with the show. Like I
Okay,
said,
all
I was
right.
very
Okay.
uncomfortable living at my dad's house.
Okay. Understood. Continue.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was very unhappy living at my dad's house. I was worried. I didn't feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I did not feel safe.
All right.
So when I met this guy and he started to, talking to me and showing me love and, showing me kindness, like, and he said, oh, you can move in with me anytime you want. I was like, thank you, Jesus. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to leave. Let someone else take abuse, whatever of me. I don't want to stay with my dad. And so that's how I ended up with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he realized too that I didn't want to go back because I told him what was going on. And he realized that I'd rather to die out there than to go back to my dad's house. So he kind of, play on that, knowing that, oh, if I do her this, do her that, she won't leave anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to the point where it was too bad. It was too bad. I couldn't stay anymore. And I took the money. I bought the plane ticket. Oh, his mom, after the mom knew everything that was happening, and I told her that I was leaving and I'm going to Jamaica, she called him and she told him, oh, she just came to my house and she picked up her passport. She's going to Jamaica. But I didn't tell her that. I don't remember if I told her the day when I was going. I'm not sure. Anyways, long story short, the man came to Toronto on the day he came to the airport on the day when I was flying to Jamaica. But when he got there, I was already on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
I was already on the airplane. So, anyways, I went to Jamaica. I went to my mom's. I was at my mom's house for a while. he couldn't get a hold of me because I was in the country. I didn't have a phone or anything. And my mom worked at the hospital. So he would call talk to my mom all the time with him there. And he called my mom, beg my mom. This I was in Jamaica for like a month. My mom didn't like it because I guess people started saying, "Oh, she got deported. She can't go back to Canada." So my mom started getting like, nervous. So when he called her and begged her to bring me to the hotel that he was staying at, and she came and she's like, "Oh, I'll just take you there and talk to him because I'm gonna tell him that he can't do this and he can't do that." I was like, "Mom, I really don't want to go there. This guy want to kill me." And I took his money. So now I give him reasons to want to kill me. He's saying, "No, no, 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 no. I think he promised her money." That's what I think. I don't know if I'm wrong. I think he promised to give her something for her to just, it's like she pawned me off to this man. That's how I felt. And I went to the motel, the hotel. Actually, it was in, what do you call the place? Portmore. It was in Portmore. I've never been to Portmore before, ever. And we went to the hotel. Him and my mom talked. I went in the room. My mom let me bring all my luggage because she don't want me to come back to country for people to think, "Oh yeah, she's really deported." So all my stuff I brought were in the room. It was good for like a day or two at the hotel. And then he had a friend that was living in Canada, and that friend got deported. And him and that guy was in communicate. They were communicating back and forth. So the one day the guy came to the hotel, and they were in the room talking, smoking, burning weed, and all that crap. And the guy left. Then he came back the next day, and this in the morning, I got up, went downstairs to get breakfast, and for some reason I was just kind of walking, slowly back to the room or whatever. I didn't want to interrupt them because they were in there. But I heard like they were plotting something. So I didn't go into the room. I stood at the door and they couldn't see me. And my boyfriend said, "Oh yeah, that FMB. She thinks she's gonna take my money. She thinks she's gonna treat me like this and thinks she's gonna get away with it." So the friend turned to him and said, "Okay, well, I have a friend that have a little boat, and I could get the boat from her, and we could just bring her out in the middle of the sea and just dump her ass over there." Excuse my language, I'm just saying what he said. And we could just dump her overboard. And it's like, yeah, man, and I guess they're thumping our face or whatever. I didn't see. I'm just assuming, like, because this was a set plan and everything is gonna work out. I heard what they were saying, so I went back downstairs to the front desk. My heart's pounding. I called my mom and I was crying. I said, "Please come and get me right now. Like, this guy's planning to kill me." My mother said to me, "I can't leave work now. Go back to the room, be nice, pretend like everything is okay, and we'll come in the morning." My mother said that. Anyways, um, I did as I was told. I had nowhere to go. I had no money, and so I ended up going back to the room. The next morning, though, my mom did come with the cops, and they took me away, and my mom was cursing him and whatever. And my mom took me to one of her friends' house in Kingston, people that I don't even know. Nobody was at the house. Was the daughter, and the daughter was dumb, like dumb meaning like she can't talk. Period. And I have no one to talk to. I don't know where I am, Rockford, something. I don't even know. And she left me there. And I'm like, "What am I doing here?" So I have my little boyfriend from back in the day. So I called him and he came and he picked me up and I went back to his house. My mom got upset. She said, "I don't want you to stay in Jamaica. You got to go back to Canada." I said, "Okay, fine." My mom called my aunt and she asked my aunt if she could come and pick me up at the airport, let me stay at her house, and, like, let me, like, get a job, go back to school, whatever. My aunt said yes. The date was set because I had an open ticket. So an open ticket means you can just, call them and tell them, "Okay, I'm ready to come back home." Uh, I got to the airport in Canada. They searched me like crazy because I went away for so long. They dig up my stuff. And they asked me, "Well, who is here to pick you up?" I was still a kid. And I said, "Well, my aunt and my uncle is supposed to be outside. They're outside waiting for me, whatever." So I went out. No one came. No one was there. I waited for an hour, nothing. I had no phone to call anyone, nothing. So the only number I know off out of my head was the guy. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know anything. So I ended up calling him. Long story short, I called him and I was explaining to him what happened. He said, "Oh yeah, just take a taxi, come and I will pay for it or whatever." My heart's pounding because I know this guy's about to kill me. And I ended up going back to the house. He was a gentleman. He was so nice, so calm. But I know there was a storm was brewing. It was coming. And I was there for a couple of days. Everything was fine until he went out and he came back and he grabbed me in the back of my hair and he said, "Oh, you effing B, you think I was gonna let you get away with what you did?" And obviously he started pounding on me and doing whatever. And yeah, so I said, you know what, if he's gonna burn down my family's house, he's gonna do it. Either we call the cops or whatever happened. No, I know better than to call the cops on this guy because I literally witnessed things that he did to people. And I'm not calling the cops on this guy at all because where all my family live, so I have nowhere else to go. So I said I leave. Sorry, I left and I told my aunt what was going on. She said, you know what, just come. I went to her house. I stayed there for a while. I was pregnant. Well, I didn't know I was pregnant. I not it wasn't his kid. I wasn't pregnant because I didn't really sleep with him. I'm not going in there. But anyways, I stayed at my aunt. My aunt found out that I was pregnant, and my aunt told me I have to leave her house. I had nowhere else to go. I'm not going back to my father. I'd rather die in the street. And I called him. He said, "Why you pregnant?" Because I guess he thought it was his, I don't know. And I ended up going back to him, and it was good again for a while. I was pregnant. I was bringing his baby, and he found out it was a boy, and he was so happy. Until someone upsets him one night. We went to a hotel. Um, went to the hotel. He got the keys. He gave me the keys, and he was talking to the guy at the front desk. I went upstairs, opened the door, went inside. I closed the door. I didn't lock the door. I closed the door. He banging on the door. So I got up and I opened the door and I said, "What's wrong? The door's open." This man, he didn't slap me. He punched me in my face. I was about what, 7, 8 months pregnant? Punched me in the face. I said, "What did I do now? I should have stood outside the door and wait to keep the door open for him." And this is in winter, like freezing outside. He wanted me to wait outside, keep the door open until the king come inside the room. It's like, okay, fine. I took my beating like a good little girl and I took it and I stayed. I know a lot of people probably thinking, why did she stay with him? Why, you know, I don't know why I stayed. And I ended up having the baby, still stayed with him. And after I had the baby, yeah, it got worse. He didn't beat me that much while I was pregnant, but after I had the baby and his son was born, uh, yeah, that's it. That was it. I remember once after I had the baby, we planned to go on. It's like this black people thing that they have in Canada once a year. I got up in the morning, I started cooking. I started, because we're going, we're bringing food and whatever. His sister husband, and their kids, and we were all going. He came back to the house and he said, "Oh, just so you know, no woman is coming on this trip." So I said, "Why? I've been here cooking, cleaning up, doing all this. I wanted to go." He's like, "Oh, well, no woman going." So I said, "Okay, fine." When he left the house, I called his sister and I was telling her, "Oh, like, I was asking her what's going on. I hear that like we're not going anymore." She said, "Yeah, my husband said like no, none of us are going. It's just the men that are going." So I said to her, "Please, I'm begging you, don't tell your brother that I call you because you know what he'll do." She was a bit jealous of me because even though he would murder me, he makes sure I'm okay. Yeah, I have the nicest of everything because you don't want people out there to think his girl is a bum. But they don't know what happened behind closed doors. And his sister didn't like me that much. As soon as she got off the phone with him, with me, she called him. She called him and she told him that I called her. And he came home. And when he came home, he started pounding me. And I didn't know what was going on because I didn't know his sister would tell him. And he started beating me, beat me, beat me. And he had lots of money. So he would buy the most expensive things. And I remember we had a dolphin on the center table, and he picked the dolphin up and he threw the dolphin at my head. And this is where my dandy shandy game came in. I ducked, and it flew right in the wall, and it burst the wall open, and it shook. It just stayed there, and it was just like shaking, shaking, shaking. So if that had, I don't want to think what would have happened if that had gotten on me. So I ran out to the balcony because it was an apartment. I ran out to the balcony. There was a machete there, and I picked it up and I said, "I swear to God, if you touch me, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna go to prison." And he's still trying to come outside because I'm scared of him. So I'm not gonna chop him or anything. So I picked up the machete and you rush back inside. So I looked over the balcony and I saw someone. I was on the 10th floor. I saw a guy walking, and I said to him, "Please, can you call the cops? Like, this guy's gonna kill me." He walked away, and I think the guy went obviously, and he called the cops. And I think he felt that something was going on. He left the house, the apartment, and within like 45 minutes to an hour, the cops showed up. And I lied. I didn't know anyone where I was living. It's only him and his family, so I lied to the cops. I said I was the one that hit him. I started an argument with him, and I hit him, and he hit me back. I was taking all the blames and everything because I didn't want them to arrest him. Because what am I gonna do when he's gone? I have no one. So the police officer said, "No, I know he abused you. I know this guy abused," and he used to go to jail all the time because he was a drug dealer, and so they know him very well. So they wanted to get him on something, and that's something. So she said, "You're not pressing charges. We are. So there's nothing you can do about it." So in the morning, when he came home, I told him what the police. I'm surprised he didn't beat me again. Um, in the morning, he drove me to the police station. He told me to go inside and tell them that you're not pressing charges. I said I told him that. He said, "Go inside and tell them you're not pressing charges." Okay, I walked inside. I explained everything to the police officer at the front desk, and he said, "Listen, you're not the one pressing charges. We're pressing charges. So he's getting arrested, whether you like it or not." I went back outside. I told him. They told me, "Tell him to come in because it's going to be easier on him if he walked in, because if we catch him, it's going to be whatever." He actually went inside. He went inside. They arrested him, and he didn't. I like missing out some parts of it, but whatever. Um, he went to prison. They gave him 3 years in prison, and after the 3 years, he got deported. He was supposed to get deported. I followed this man to every prison that they ship him out to. I was there visiting him, still visiting him, because at the same time, even though he was in prison, he was still supporting me, like financially. That's how much the guy had it. And that's not the reason why I stayed with him. I was scared of him. And so when we went to court and he got sentenced and they told him he's gonna get deported and all that, I was crying. I was crying because I didn't know what I was gonna do. I have no one to help me. And I remember his sister's husband was at the courthouse with me. And when I was crying and going on, and he said to me, "You know what? It's okay to cry, but remember, God is taking this man out of your life for a reason. Because if he had stayed in Canada, he would have killed you."
Hmm.
And I looked at it as, you know what? He's so right. But of course, I still cry. I still miss him.
So what I want to know is, after he got deported, what is it that you did?
Okay, so after he got deported, actually, sorry, when he was in prison still, his mom, like I told you, I loved his mom. Even after what she did, I still loved her. And I did a lot for her. So I remember once the mom came to the house before he went to prison, and she said, "Everything in this house, if you and my son break up, I want this. Like, she's touching the TV, she's touching the couch, she's touching everything. That's what she wants if him and I break up." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And it went that way. When he went to prison, his mom, I guess his mom, he was talking to his mom back and forth, and his mom told him that I was bringing men into the apartment. I was so scared of this man. I would never, ever do something like that. But the mom told him that. And we had a car. The car was in my name because I guess he couldn't get it in his name. And I remember one day he called me and he said, he started cursing me, oh, you're effing man on my, on my furnitures and you're doing this. And I said, no, it's a lie. Who tell you this? Anyways, long story short, he called me and he said, listen, my mom is coming to pick up all furniture in the in the apartment, and I need the key to the truck. So I said to him, no, we're common law. No, you're not getting this stuff. And he said, okay, you'll take your eyes and see what happened. While he was in prison, I remember once I went to visit him, and he said he have a friend in the prison. If I have a friend that could come, and visit the friend, and I said, okay, okay, no problem. I'll get my friend to come with me. Of course, that's company for me too. So, that's good. Anyways, my girlfriend came with me a few times. So he told me that. So he told me that the guy was coming out of prison. The guy was coming out of prison like I say in a month or something. And I said, okay, fine. One night, one night I was at my apartment with the baby with my son, and I hear a knock on the door, and I got up and I looked through the peephole, and it was this guy that I don't know. Close the door. And I said to him, I looked at the tip and I said, what are you doing here? He said, he told me to come and check up on you guys and make sure you guys are okay. I said, why would you do that? Like, I don't know you. I'm not opening my door to you. Remember, this man said to me, if I don't give his family the stuff, I'll take my eyes and see what happened. So I said, no, I'm sorry. Guys come and get me. I'm scared. I was telling them what was going on and stuff. And my sister said it was myself and my son. And my sister said to me, no, just don't open the door. I only have a two-bedroom. I said, I will come and sleep on the floor. It's only for tonight. And she said, no, just put the chain lock on the door and like don't let him in. So I said, okay, fine. I called my friend, the one that was going to the prison with me to visit him, and I said, if I die tomorrow, this is the guy that killed me. And she said, do you want me to call the cops? I said, no, honey, don't call the cops. And finally, the knocking stopped. And for about a half an hour. So I got up and I was looking through the people. I didn't see anyone anymore. So I was like, okay, good. I don't know what told me. I turned my head to the left. When I looked, this guy, the guy that he sent, very, very skinny, because I met the guy at the prison. Very, very skinny. And when I looked at the people the first time, he was there. He was very, very skinny. Lean up on the wall, like pressed to the wall complete. There was a guy with him. If that guy didn't weigh 300 pounds, I don't know. But I guess he was just waiting for me to open the door to so they could just like push through the door and come in. I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna die tonight. But anyways, long story short, he didn't stay or whatever. When he got deported, so I called his mom in the morning. I was going to school and I called his mom and I said, um, you guys come and get the stuff. It's not worth my life. It's vanity. They came the next day, and there was sisters that I didn't know, cousins that I didn't know. Everybody came. About 10 people came. And I remember the day when they came. The gentleman that was driving the truck, he said, um, "You know what? Don't cry. Dry your eyes because you know what? These are vanity, and just let them take it." That he whispered to me and he said, just let them take it and just be gone. And they took everything. The only thing I owned in that apartment was a table. And I said, you guys didn't get in the table. They took the bed. The bedroom set cost $5,000. The mom wanted it from the beginning. They took everything. And I said, please take everything. The only thing they left in the house was the mattress, the table. They took the carpet, the mattress, and the table because the table was mine. And my son and I slept on the mattress for a while until I saved and I got a bed for myself. But listen, when he got deported, all his family changed their number. All of them. And he called me one day, and he was apologizing and whatever. And he said, "Oh, I'm so hungry down here. I have nothing," because I guess when they deport people, they don't bring clothes or whatever. And what I did was, even though I was saving, and I remember, even though, like, I know you guys were saying, "Oh, you stayed with him because of the money." No, I did not stay with him because of the money. The things I've seen this man and his friend do to people, the fear that I had for him, it was like I was like a freaking, like one of those soldiers in England that don't move. I would just stand there when he's talking. I don't move. I just stand there and shake, because if I breathe too hard, he will knock me out. So you guys saying, "Oh, you stayed with him because of the money." No, I said that about the money because he was kind to me. He never gave me his money to spend. His money was there. I wasn't stupid enough to take his money. Whenever I wanted it, he would go out and buy it for me. And yes, he buy stuff for me. He buy nice things for me. I'm not gonna lie. So when he got deported back to Jamaica, even with everything, I don't know if the heart that God gives to me, why I can't be nasty to people. I remember him beating me one time, just to say he beat me because I wouldn't fight back. That's it. And he hate me because I wouldn't fight him back. And I saved, and I packed a barrel for this man, and I sent it to him. I sent everyone, "Are you stupid? Are you this? Are you that?" No, I'm not stupid. I sent it to him. I get my blessing from God. I don't get my blessing from man. So if someone has something bad to say about it, then say what you got to say. I did it out of the kindness of my heart. I don't like to hear people say I'm hungry. I don't like to hear people say, "Oh, I'm this," or "Oh, I'm that." So that's what I did for him. He somehow get away to go to England, and he went to England and he did the same thing over there, selling drugs, whatever. They deported him back to Jamaica. Um, I actually was just on the phone with him. He's in Jamaica now, and he was calling, "Are you okay?" or everything. "I'm so sorry." I'm surprised he called me anyways, because knowing that I'm coming on the show or whatever, he didn't know that I'm coming on the show. No one knows I'm on the show, and so yeah, so that's what happened with him. And do I hate him? No, I don't hate him, because I should have had the nerve to leave him. So no, I blame myself. Even
All right, so there you have it, Unstoppable family. You know what, when I listen to this, right, one thing comes to mind. The good thing about this is that she escaped with her life and is able to talk about it today, right? Because it could have ended very differently, and that me happy for. Listen, if you want to listen to more shows like this live, click the link in the description. It will take you on over to Unstoppable Live, where you can listen to the program whenever we go live, Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. Make sure to turn on the notification bell so you will get notified. And if you're watching on Facebook right now, please consider hitting the follow button. And if you're watching on the recap channel right now, hit the subscribe button as well. Watch ya. Until the next Unstoppable recap, stay strong, stay motivated, but most of all, remain unstoppable.
Unstoppable.